Yeah, the other thing we did is we finagled a way to record without headphones in the studio we have, where, at least for one guitar and drums, where just by using, every microphone has a side that hears the shit, or possibly two sides that hears the shit, and has a side that rejects. So by putting the microphones in a way that they reject, putting up a wall of fiberglass, you could find a spot for a loud-ass guitar player that even a slightly hard-of-hearing drummer could hear, but those mics could not hear it, and so they could not be fatigued by that tiny little world in headphones.
Nice, man. And
So
it's also liberating, no?
Yeah. So that was, and that was mostly by technical talk, but having the overheads in figure eight, so they reject on the side, just for all you nerds, but it worked pretty well, and that was huge, because you can get real fatigued inside that little headphone world. And that's why some really amazing live bands go into the studio, and then they make a record that's like good, but it's also kind of like a snooze fest. And I've participated.
It's an isolation, wouldn't you say? I
Yeah.
mean, if you go back like in the late 30s, early 40s with jazz musicians, you really see that a lot of them didn't use that sort of constricting.
No, it was like the stuff was cut live, and Jimmy Cabs had his clarinet solo. He would step up to the mic.
Yeah.
And they tell me that the bass was too loud. I'd have to haul that thing back a little bit off the mic. Yeah, it was just placement and execution.
I think you guys did a great job on this record. You know this. You're seeing all the fans come out. You're getting good recognition.
It's good to get that, but for me it was just like we were way too close to it. It was a lot of work. I heard it a billion times. We drove from North Carolina to Vancouver to master it.
Wow.
John Custer and I, because he doesn't like to fly, and I'm sick of flying from
You fucking drove all that way?
Yeah, I drove like 13 hours the first day. Yeah.
Wow.
So we met Pepper out there. We mixed it out in Vancouver with.
You still got that 1984 in the van attitude, huh? You can still pull those long drives.
Oh yeah, I'm all about it. I wish there was more time to do it, because like flying these days is like a real drive.
Yeah, it's also a contamination fest, man.
Yeah, a little germ too.
Filthy motherfuckers in there. Okay, here's the deal. They're on tour. This is the last date of the Black Label Society tour.
It is.
What's going on with COC for 2018? The record's out. You've already toured.
Yeah.
Are you guys going out on your own on a headlining tour?
We are in the fall. We're going to do some festivals in Europe, and we're going to come back out with Black Label Society during the summertime for like July, short time, and looking at some U.S. headlining dates, possibly in September or so.
Nice.
Yeah. So we're not really stopping. I think Keenan needs to get his shoulder worked on like next week, because he lost a foot race against like a 10-year-old. Fell down, messed his shoulder up. He's been playing guitar with like his shoulder all like fucked up, so he's gonna get that fixed.
Do you see yourself, all four of you, in the future writing another record?
Yeah, to hear them talk about it, they're talking like it's it's gonna take time. It's gonna be a ways. I'm just like, get to it. Let's get to it.
Right.
So we'll see.
Hopefully
we at least meet somewhere in the middle, because I'm impatient to, I got the studio we record at is mine. I'm in there all the time. I'll be in there next week recording some other fools, so I like to be in there,
Let me hit you with something real quick before we end it here. Last year, Eric died. For those of you that don't know who I'm talking about the original singer, or the singer that was on the demo in the first Eye for a Night record.
Yeah, he was on
Toxic Shock.
Yeah.
By the way, you know how much that record is now I could sell it for? I could buy a washer and dryer if I sell that record.
Like a high efficiency?
Dude.
One that sings the song and start it up?
Are you amazed that like all that old stuff on eBay now is people? You know the old Eye for an Eye fucking shirt?
Yeah.
$1,000?
I hadn't noticed that. That's pretty freaky.
You got hip hop people wearing your shit,
Oh yeah, I've seen the Chris Brown with the.
Have you seen the hot? I don't know the hip hop chick, her name. But there's all kinds of other hip hop communities. They're wearing your shit.
It's good. Well, it's good graphic design, and if
Bringing it back to Eric. Sorry about that. Eric passed away. Obviously, I don't know the relationship that you guys had after his departure of the band, but in a way, it is kind of, for me, a closing of the chapter for that level. How did you feel of his passing?
It was rough, because I hadn't I hadn't gotten along with him since I was elected to break the news that we were kicking his ass out of the band for, strangely enough, like being loaded all the time. Because he's got to the point where he would just drink like a good size amount of Southern Comfort.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember that Sun Valley show back in the 80s.
But he's the dude that was like, for us, he was kind of like the cultural tastemaker. He's like, I might have heard of Black Flag or whatever, but he had like 20 more records I never heard, and it's like, I might have messed around with skateboard, but that's the dude that could fucking really catch some height on a plywood ramp. And I was into a lot of reggae, but that's the dude that had like all the big youth records and stuff. I'm saying, so him living up the street from Reed Mullen, who's a little younger, that's the guy that sort of hipped him to all this. No, don't listen to that. Listen, he was kind of only a couple years older, but he acted older. He was kind of acted like a leader, and so he was a big cultural influence on like a lot of people in Raleigh. He was a pretty badass drummer too. Played in this band called Coldcore that's on like a cassette compilation called No Core. But he would tend the last 20 years or so. I would see him. He would glare menacingly across the party at me, and I'd have to be like, well, it's a pretty big dude, I might need that chair, and that's just how it was. But it was still respect. But yeah.
Well, you got your payback with fucking animosity, man.
Yeah. But no, I mean, it's like it trips me out that he never really got over that. Like there was never any other thing that he was prepared to focus on, like another project. So that was kind of weird. That's one thing to look out for, is not to be fixated on any one thing.
Exactly.
Be able to change gears for sure.
One of the things that needs to be said is Corrosion of Conformity, whatever age you are, whatever generation you are, is the fact that this band for, God, it's almost going to be what, 35, 40 years?
48 years, 50
years.
Here's
the deal. Consistency.
75 years.
I'm going to say some nice things to try to not be affected by this. Consistency, sincerity, true dedication. You don't see that nowadays. Big money, trends. This band has been doing it their way all these decades, and here's the deal. Whatever they put out, whether you like it or not, the debate is this. There is no debate. COC has a little bit for everybody. This new record, for those of you that are Pepper enthusiasts, you're going to love it. For those of you that remember the 84 hardcore COC, you're going to love it, because at the end of the day, they're just being real, and they put out something that always is what they respect and love first.
There's some rowdy shit on the new record. It's
great,
man.
Some
aggressive shit. It turned out more aggressive. I thought it was going to be all like stoner fest, and it turned out kind of aggressive.
No cross, no crown. No, sorry again. No cross, no crown. Nuclear Blast Records. They're going to be back on the road. Check them out. And with that, Mike, always great talking to you. Freddie Fender, get well.
Wasted
we love you,
days
Freddie.
and wasted nights. Oh.